Hi, I'm Craig Derek Jones,
I'm Devin Jones.
and we are a Father-Son review team, and we just watched Bill and Ted 3. What's the tagline on it?
Face the music.
Face the music. We were lucky. We have access to this big movie theater screen behind us, so we watched it here the way it's intended to be seen, which is great, you know.
Yeah.
First, let me talk to the parents. Parents, Bill and Ted 3 is pretty harmless, I think. I didn't think there was a whole lot to worry about showing your little kids. Anything that is sort of adult will go over their heads. There's really, even the violence is kind of non-existent.
Yeah.
Some people do go to hell. If you know about Bill and Ted, you know that they've been to hell before, and they go to hell again. You know, mild spoilers. But if you don't want your kids to see people go to hell, yeah. But hell in part 2 of Bill and Ted was a little creepy and scary. This isn't at all.
No.
Really, it's not. There's nothing creepy or scary about this movie, I didn't think. What do you think?
I mean, if you got a little kid, they have to tell them not to go around calling people dickweeds. But, you know.
Oh, was that in
about
there?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they say that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it is
it's
a
nothing
PG
bad
movie,
about it, yeah.
but, you know, it's pretty harmless.
It's fine.
If your kids have seen the other Bill and Ted movies, this one, I thought those other movies were a lot worse than this one was.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, other than that, let's talk about the movie. First off, we were very fortunate that we got to see it in a big screen like this. I don't know if we needed to, but I like to see every movie on a big screen, and I'm glad that we did.
Well, the first time I watched it.
We watched it twice, yeah.
First time I watched it was the most joyous of occasions.
Most excellent. Huh?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I wasn't disappointed. It was about what my expectations were. To where, like, see, like the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, that they just completely, like, almost entirely relied on, like, nostalgia. Like, hey, you remember these guys? It was
Right.
kind of like that for almost the whole movie.
Right.
And then, but this one, I enjoyed it because it doesn't matter that much about the old ones. They're still throwing a couple of jokes like that, but I enjoyed it.
So the movie kind of exists on its own. Yeah.
It sort of does its own thing.
Yeah, that was my problem with the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. That you can watch our review. I gave it kind of a negative review. I love Kevin Smith, but it just wasn't that funny. You know, there wasn't enough in that movie to make me laugh. There was enough in this movie that made me laugh. I laughed a lot. In this
Like
movie.
the first scene had us cracking up.
The first 10 minutes is, if you've seen the first two movies, the first 10 minutes at this wedding is just awesome. It's just, if you're a Bill and Ted fan, it's great.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed that.
So the first time I watched it, it was awesome. I was gonna give it like a worth the popcorn, you know. It wasn't quite bomb diggity, but it was good. There were just a couple of things I didn't like about it.
Right.
And then later, we were home, and Dad just wanted to watch like just a couple scenes from it. But we just ended up watching the whole thing again.
Yeah.
And then I had to lower my rating. After paying attention to the movie like this, how it makes no sense. And I know it's a Bill and Ted fantasy fiction robot time traveling movie, but the story is completely like meaningless. Like, it doesn't need to be the way it was. It would have been a lot better if they just sort of like
The plot devices, they are, when you stop and think about it,
they don't make sense.
they
And
totally kind of unravel what the other two movies were about. Because, you know, I'm trying not to spoil it too much to a certain point.
We'll do a little bit more spoiling towards the end of the video.
But we'll just say that, and this is nothing that's not in the trailer. The first two movies, they had talked about the Wild Stallions music was supposed to, like, the future was based on their music. That, like, their music had taught them to love and be, you know,
Be
excellent to each other and all that. This, they kind of undid that. Now it's that their music is supposed to bring time and space together or something, and it didn't really make sense.
Doesn't make
and
sense
it's
at
like,
all.
what? No, I liked it better when it was more simpler. When their music was the reason that the future civilization got along so well is they based their whole society on it, is because it impressed them and it was beautiful music.
It was
Now it's
just
just there's
music.
something about the frequencies of the music that's going to keep time and space from imploding on each other. I was like, I didn't need that. That's like bad.
And I didn't like that because like
It felt like a bad regular show episode, man.
Yeah.
This had a regular show feel. They even kind of stole some
They
things
did.
from
They
it,
steal
man.
a little bit from a regular show.
And I
episode.
love regular show, but
But you see, the thing is, like,
yeah, I didn't like that part of it, man.
because if you haven't seen any of the Bill and Teds, there's time travel in them. It's the whole thing.
Right.
But in this one, they took the time travel too far to where it's this ginormous thing that has to be held together by Bill and Ted's music, to where they're gonna hold everything together across universes. I didn't like that. I want them to be one society where they do that, not entire dimensions like that. To where in the first one, they were just time traveling to get some people for the history report, and then in this one, the time traveling, like everyone's traveling, it's just time is getting unraveled, bunch of people flying around everywhere, and I don't like it.
I didn't like it either.
They did too much with the time travel in this one, I think.
Well, it's just their reason for traveling around was just. Ugh.
So like, I would have
I wasn't
liked
feeling it. I wasn't feeling
I
it.
would have liked it a lot more if the reason that Bill and Ted were doing this stuff, the reason, and like, I think they said this in the trailer, where they're going to the future to steal the saving song from themselves, because that's funny. That's a Bill and Ted kind of thing to do. I like that premise, but I would have liked it a lot more if it was just like Bill and Ted haven't written a song
Right.
to connect the societies yet, and then the society's like, yo, our stuff's gonna, if y'all don't do this, then we'll cease to exist.
Right.
I would have liked that more.
And even that, I mean, it wasn't just one song in the.
Yeah, it was like
it was their body
whole
of
thing.
music that was supposed to be. They kind of undid. And it's the same writers too, I think.
Yeah.
They just undid all the great stuff they did in the first two, man. And I know it's Bill and Ted. Do I really have to take it that seriously? But I liked that about those movies,
Yeah,
man.
I
And-
love those first movies, and then I really liked this one the first time I saw it.
Yeah, I understand. But what's your rating for it?
I have to give it a misfire.
That hurts.
I know.
That hurts to give it a misfire, man.
It's because, like, I still enjoy the things that I liked the first time. Just now I just didn't think about how they kind of messed up the whole universe with this one.
Yeah, the universe, it kind of does a disservice. At least I agree with you on that. For me, there was enough in the movie that I laughed at that I'll call it worth the popcorn. Mainly because when it was making me laugh, it was making me laugh. And those guys, I thought sometimes his performance felt a little forced to me. Sometimes.
It's funny because I thought the same thing about.
But there's some people looking in here. Whatever. But Winter was great though.
Yep.
The whole time.
There's Keanu's his like daughter in the movie. I didn't like her. Sometimes her performance was too much too. I think. 'Cause, like the way that she was like when she wasn't talking, she'd be like, she was doing it too much. Their daughters are like them when they were young, and it's kind of funny to see that, but she was just too much.
Yeah,
with it.
I like that about the movie. But I think it would have been better if those two actors that play the daughters, if they had just played it straight but still been saying the things that their fathers say.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been, because they were kind of overacting sometimes. I was like, you're not Bill and Ted, stop.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I like the death was awesome. He was just so funny in the movie, and that whole segment when they went to go see Death, I thought was beautiful. It was so funny, and the jokes were landing. And one thing I gotta hate on the movie for though is, and this makes me mad. The movie's got a little bit of ageism in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm about to say, right?
Yep.
Because in the first two movies, they went back in time and they married these princesses and brought them back. They have. What are you doing?
It was tracking my arm, so I was wiping my eye.
Oh, it doesn't matter. They this time around they recast those two actors that played the princesses, but they cast them with women that are like, what are you doing?
You know what I'm doing?
You are stop it. Just sit still. It'll find you. Just sit still.
It wasn't.
You're distracting me. I'm trying
Talk.
I'm trying to
gotta pay
talk about
attention to me.
All right, let me start again, okay? They replaced the two actresses that played in the older ones. They replaced the Bill and Ted's wives with much younger actors, okay? I mean, they look like they're maybe maybe mid-30s, maybe 40s.
'Cause, like-
maybe early 40s,
Like,
maybe.
Like Bill's wife, she was a Paul Blart's love thing.
Yeah.
In that, and that was like 10 years ago, and she
Yeah.
was like 20 when they made that, so she's
Right.
like 30. And then Bill and
Yeah.
Ted, they're like 50 something right
They're
now.
close to 60,
Yeah.
man. Dude, if they're going to replace these actors, replace them with women that are in their 50s. I mean,
would've-
come on.
They should have done.
Are we
that.
really going to be upset about that? It's just ridiculous that they would take those two characters and make them younger,
Yeah.
while Bill and Ted are obviously in their mid 50s to late 50s. I think Keanu's dang near 60, man.
Yeah, probably.
So it's like that bugged me, because you can't tell me there weren't any older 50-year-old women that could have played this role. And nothing against those two actors, those two that play the wives in this movie, but their accents weren't very good. I didn't think it was. Watch they really be British.
They're not.
But I didn't like their performances that well. I was just like, dude, get some older women, you know. But that's I guess no, it's not a minor gripe. That's a major gripe. You can see why women in the industry complain. The actors in the industry, they complain because they get older and they just get replaced. You know,
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Are you? Mr. Vane here. Go ahead and look at your. Next time I'm gonna turn that so you can't see yourself in the camera.
Well, because it got stuck on my
Just-
chest for a second.
Stop. It's
fine.
fine. It's gonna be fine.
He was the one complaining about me putting my hands
It's
in my
going
face
to
in
be
the first place.
fine. It's going to be fine. But
I
anyway,
hope it
I
will
hated that about the movie. Every
Yeah.
time they were on screen, I was like, these women look like they weren't even born when when the first Bill and Ted came out.
Yeah, I really don't like that I gave it a lower rating, but I mean,
I understand why you
too.
did though, but I'm still going to go ahead and say it's worth a watch, because
I would still
I
suggest watching it.
really did enjoy seeing those two together, and there is something they do with the. It's kind of a plot device that revolves around the daughters that happens later in the movie, and like near the end, basically. That I thought was really cool. I thought it could have been executed a little better, but I did like that reveal
Yeah.
at the end of the movie. You know, about it's like kind of their connection with their daughters. There's enough about the movie that I liked. You know, I like how they called. They would always be like, "Hey, dads," you know. They
'cause
like
you-
together, like they
You
because
know,
they're
Bill
all.
and Ted were always like dudes, and then they're like dads. I'm assuming it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna
I
tell you what
liked it.
I am gonna hate on. We're spoiling now.
Spoiler time.
Jimi Hendrix is in the movie as a character, and the music they have him playing does not sound like Jimi Hendrix, especially when he plays with Mozart. It
Yeah.
sounded more like Eddie Van Halen style.
like-
That's not Jimmy.
Because, like, Jimi Hendrix wouldn't have done what he did in this movie. Like, he's, like, playing with Mozart, and he's playing exactly what Mozart's playing. Jimmy would have done his own thing.
He would have played along with it, but
Yeah,
you
but,
know,
like,
did something
played
different.
it slightly. Because, like, what
Well,
he
we
was
don't know
doing-
what Jimmy would have done if he
Yeah,
went
but,
back,
I mean, it wouldn't have sounded like that.
That's not Jimmy, though. I'm a Jimmy
No.
fan, and that's not Jimmy's style of
You know,
playing.
I
So
love
they,
Jimi
they
Hendrix.
could have hired someone to play the guitar that sounds more like Jimmy, because this did not sound like Jimi Hendrix music. And the actor, he was all right, but he wasn't spacey enough or loopy enough. He didn't seem like Jimmy to me. And then the person who played
You're talking about
Louis Armstrong,
He's always like, yeah.
you know,
He always has his eyes squinted
it
and
was
sit down like
annoying.
this.
It was
Like,
annoying.
it
Poor
was-
actor. Poor, you know, but it was annoying. That's not how he was, man.
Yeah,
you know?
no, he was a bit much in this movie. I
Yeah.
didn't hate it.
It was
but-
fake though. That guy was acting, and you could
Yeah.
see it. And you know, nothing against that guy. He's probably a good actor, but in this, I didn't like that.
One thing I just thought of now is that I didn't like when the daughters are time traveling with like Jimi Hendrix and stuff. None of them freak out that they're time traveling.
Yeah, not that much.
Like in the first movie,
they did.
They
freak
were
out
all
a
like,
little
"What
more.
the hell is this?" Because they've never
Yeah.
been to a normal like time period.
Right.
They're going back to like ancient like Asia, like myths type people.
And they weren't freaking out.
You know, they were just playing the
yeah.
flute, walking into this big dome that's in space, flying around. You know, I
Yeah,
didn't
that was-
like that.
Because now that we're spoiling, the daughters, they actually go on a trip to, you know, back in time like their fathers did in the first movie, while Bill and Ted are off, you know, trying to stop the universe from collapsing or whatever. So they probably didn't have enough time to, you know,
It's just like little
to
like
show
looks
those little
would've
things.
worked.
But yeah, yeah, it seemed kind of thin.
Yeah, because I liked that. I liked that they had the daughters going back and doing the stuff that their dads did.
I did. I like that
That was really
concept
cool.
too. It's just the execution wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I just think I like the movie, but it's not. It's not well made enough. I think maybe it needed a little more thought.
It's weird. So you say that, and I think about how the effects haven't gotten any better since the first one.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I just don't know why they look like a PlayStation cutscene, and not even like a Red
you
Dead
talking
Redemption.
about the green screen stuff was horrendous, man. When
Even
the
the egg,
future,
dude.
oh yeah, it looked bad.
Even like the egg time traveling thing.
I didn't mind the egg.
That looked like I remember me
I
and
like the
Wesley.
robot.
Me and Wesley used to go around and mess around and like with his iPhone, and we'd film each other with these apps that would put in like bad CGI. That's what this movie looked like.
Yeah, the CGI wasn't.
It wasn't good.
No, I like the egg. I was okay with the egg, but the whole green screen when they were in the
was
future,
terrible.
it looked bad, dude.
Yeah,
it looked really bad.
That was like equivalent.
It looked
to
like something we could do
PS3.
here.
Yeah. Matter of
Dude,
fact,
it was bad. It was bad, dude. And I mean, it's not like, and the color palette that they used, the way they graded the thing, it almost looked like high definition video. It didn't have that rich film look. And don't tell me, well, they shot it on video. I know they shot it on like an Arri Alexa. I know it's video, but the Alexa can make stuff. You can grade it so it looks like that old nice film look, and it just visually it didn't pop like those first two films
Yeah, I
did
thought
because
that
the colors were muted
yeah,
and
some of these scenes were
murky
just
kind of
dull.
Yeah, dull. It's murky and it's dull. It doesn't have that old school pop that the first two films did. Bright colors, bright everything, because those movies they should look like that. We are really tearing this movie apart. I really did like the movie.
I still
but,
love the movie. Just
but
I can't give
gotta
it.
be
I
honest,
can't give it a good rating.
There's things that are bad about it, man,
And if you don't know,
the
misfire,
color grading bad.
if you don't know what misfire means, it was okay.
No, the misfire means there's something that's
Like-
there. It just didn't quite
Yeah.
do it for you.
Like I gave that to like Skyscraper, so to where
Yeah.
like it was like I wanted to really like it, but then there were just some problems.
And for me, worth the popcorn, that means that it's good, but it could
not-
be better.
yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. But I really did enjoy seeing those two characters and seeing where they are in life, and
Yeah.
it had some deep. It had some kind of deep moments. I really did like the movie, but
Yeah.
again, I didn't like the color grading. The special effects were trash. But see, people will think, well, they were in the first one too. I was like, yes, but they were trash in the first movie, but they looked good though. It was like there was like
And the first one was
there was a
made
charm to them.
before I was born.
There was a charm to them that the effects don't have much charm in this one.
Well, no.
And then since we're spoiling, about the middle of the movie, the people of the future say, okay, well, we're just going to kill Bill and Ted, so that if we kill them, then the song doesn't exist, and then everything go back to normal, which is stupid anyway. But the plot of the second movie was that a dude from the future who didn't like the way the future was went back in time and killed Bill and Ted,
That's why
so that the future would go away and change. That's why they went to hell, Bill and their bogus journey. I'm like, well, why would you do it again? It just doesn't fit with the universe. It
and
doesn't.
the same people ruling in this one were still there ruling in the other.
Yeah, I mean,
movies.
like
They're just
whatever
like-
Nicodemus or whatever his name was in the part two, he already killed Bill and Ted to change the future. So why would you think killing Bill and Ted would make everything all right when it already
Doesn't make
didn't
sense.
in part two? I just maybe they made the story too big. They were trying to make it too big and like a regular show episode. I think you're right. They just should have made it about Bill and Ted and the fact that they hadn't written the music that was supposed to make everything. And then you could still have that thing happen with their daughters,
Yep.
at the end. And you could still have their daughters going through time and getting people while Bill and Ted are trying to find the music somehow.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I wonder if they
is what
just,
it
like,
is. Is what it is, man.
I wonder if they just wanted to send everybody back to hell and like didn't know how, so they're like, let's put in a killer robot. Like
That robot could have been funny, but he's...
he's a little annoying, but
Yeah, a
that's
little bit,
His point is
you
to
know.
be annoying, but
But I just...
it was kind of funny.
yeah, he was funny. He made me laugh sometimes.
Yeah. But no,
But I think it's like this. If you are a fan of the first two films, I think you will like this movie.
yeah, because I love.
If you're not a
those
fan
other
of the
ones.
first two movies, I'd say skip it, man, because you're gonna be like, this is why I don't care about anything.
Yeah,
that's
you
going
have
on.
to like have a love for the first two because it is amazing just to see them in that first scene, sitting there talking at the wedding, going like, It's just amazing.
Yeah, we laughed just thinking about it, man. That was great, dude. It was great.
Just the trumpet part plays in my head
Oh,
on repeat.
the music part, yeah.
There's a
I
music
forgot
part.
about
That's
that,
the
too.
funniest part of the thing. Like, every time
I was talking about the whole Missy mom thing.
that
but,
was hilarious, too.
But when they start playing
music,
that music, man, oh my gosh, it was so
just
funny.
that trumpet part keeps playing in my head, and I just
funny.
start chuckling at it.
Yeah, the movie's got good parts
It's
to it.
funny, but it's
just
I just really wish that they would have not done what they did with the story. I would have liked a lot more if it was simpler.
Yeah, I think there were better ways to go with it, and I like the whole concept that they were in couples therapy, and how they screwed it up. There were good things about the movie. I just
and I thought
I liked that they were having marital problems with their wives,
because realistically they would.
Yeah,
I liked that, and then I liked Bill and Ted and like them and then their future selves. That was funny.
Every time their future selves came on, I thought Keanu was great as the other us's, as the future selves. Yeah. There's just sometimes when he was playing normal, present Bill or Ted, present Ted, he just wasn't.
Just seemed like a little forced.
Yeah, but then when he'd play, the future selves, he really got into it.
Like the future self is like that, but it's for a good reason.
Yeah, he's better. It's just better.
He's just supposed to be like that.
It's better, but
I know I'm gonna watch the movie again. I mean, we have to watch it with my sibling and stuff.
Yeah,
but then I know I'm probably gonna watch it a couple more times because we bought it.
Yeah, there's enough to like about it. It's cool. It's cool. We should probably wrap this up. We're gonna run out of time, but
it almost reminds me of like The Pick of Destiny, but I think I enjoyed The Pick of Destiny more because the story doesn't have problems with it like that.
Well, Pick of Destiny sucks, man.
Yeah,
but
it's like,
when it's funny, it's funny.
Like
though.
The Pick of Destiny, a lot of the jokes aren't that funny, but then the story is fine.
Well, Pick of Destiny is like beginning great, end great, in the middle like ugh.
In the middle there's like 2 or 3 good.
But I still think it's.
I still love the movie.
I would say it's about on par with this one, man. If you love Tenacious D, you'll like watching that movie. And if you love Bill and Ted, you'll like watching this movie, man.
But I think Bill and Ted was funnier than The Pick of Destiny because it's funny all the way through.
Consistently, I think.
Yeah, but then the story is just ruins it for me.
But I'll say Pick of Destiny though, the things that are funny are gut-bustingly funny. And I don't know if this movie had those gut-bustingly funny moments. They're all but the movie is consistently funny all the way through, whereas Pick of Destiny wasn't. So yeah, I like the movie, but I like all the actors, even though I thought some of the choices were bad that they made as actors. But except for Satchmo, man, he pissed me off. Louis Armstrong. I did not like the way that guy played that character. No disrespect to you if you watch this, Mr. Actor, but I was not.
You ain't gonna watch this. We ain't good like that.
Dude, it just, you never know with the internet, man. Because he's probably a good actor, but the way they probably told him to do that, like the director probably told him to do that.
And I didn't like the way he was doing it because I had to study Louis Armstrong for a project in 3rd grade, and I know he wasn't like that.
No, he wasn't. And the way Jimmy was portrayed, man. I think the actors are fine. I remember Jimi Hendrix interviews and stuff and the way he used to act, and this guy wasn't spacey enough. Maybe he needed to take some drugs or something because he just wasn't out there. Jimmy was always high, always gone.
There are some lines.
And it could have been very funny that way. Yeah. He would out Bill and Ted. Hendrix was gone, man. He was kind of bonkers a little bit, and that's what made him so charming to talk to. When you see these interviews, and they just didn't have that dynamic in this guy's performance. But whatever, it is what it is. It's not about him.
And then there are some lines in the movie that are funny, but then they don't make sense, and they would make sense if you kept the exact same joke, but then just switched a couple words, like when Dave Grohl sees Bill and Ted.
Yeah, Dave Grohl. See, now we're getting too deep into it. Because Dave Grohl sees Bill and Ted, and he's like, who are you guys, and what are you doing in my house? But Dave Grohl loves music, so he would know who Bill and Ted was. He'd be like, Bill and Ted, what are you doing in my house?
It would still be funny.
Yeah, it would still be funny. Yeah, he'd be like, who are you guys? He would know. Because in this universe, Bill and Ted played a concert at the Grand Canyon and sold it out. So it's like Dave Grohl would know who Bill and Ted are, man. But it was cool that we didn't expect to see Dave Grohl.
Yeah, I liked the Dave Grohl was in there.
Because, you know,
We're big fans of the Foo
yeah, we
Fighters
like
and Dave
Foo
Grohl in
Fighters.
general.
I was
you know.
like, dude, why are you in this movie?
It was cool.
But it was and it was funny. It made
It
us
was,
both
yeah.
laugh out loud. So, but let's wrap this up. I think Bill and Ted Face the Music. I really liked it. If you like Bill and Ted, I recommend giving it a watch. But you've heard us kind of rip the movie apart on a lot of levels. But there really is a charm and a sweetness to it that I think you will enjoy if you like Bill and Ted. I don't know, maybe it just wasn't executed as well as I would have liked it to have been. And that's on a technical level, be it the color grading and also the special effects. The cinematography was all right. But then, and that's also on a story level. Story level, it just kind of undoes a lot of this.
The story.
The simplicity of the first two films is what I think made them so unique and endearing to me. And this, they kind of expanded it to a scientific thing. It doesn't really make sense. They didn't explain why it was happening. It's like a regular show episode. Bill and Ted's not regular show. Bill and Ted is Bill and Ted. And I really think that if they had kept it simple, you know, I think it would have been a great ending to a really nice trilogy. Yeah. So that's how I felt. So, you know, but still, if you like Bill and Ted, watch the movie.
Yeah, if you like adore those movies or even just like them at all, you know, watch this third one because it's really cool to see them two being themselves again. And I liked one thing I was just hoping that they didn't do, and they didn't do it, is like I was hoping that they didn't have Bill and Ted acting the exact same way that they did in the first movies.
Right.
Because, you know, they have them older and a little bit more mature in this, which
yeah, it would be stupid if they were 60 and still.
You know, they're still talking like sort of. They're still stupid like they were, but it's more realistic with this.
But they're
for their age.
Yeah, well, no, they're a little smarter, I think.
Yeah.
They play it smarter, but they're still, you know, whoa. But they're older, and they play it older, which is great. It would be stupid if they were still trying to act like teenagers,
so
but
I'm glad
don't.
that they didn't do that.
Yeah, you're right. That I did like that. I like that aspect a lot. That they didn't overplay it. It was cool. All right. So, again, I'm trying to end it. He just keeps coming up. I've tried to end it like 3 times.
Quick plug time. So,
Plug time.
See, I made a short film called Autumn's Breeze, and it will be in the Threadbare competition.
It's not a competition. It's just a film festival.
Yeah. So it's in the Michigan Threadbare Film Festival thing.
The Threadbare Mitten Film Festival. It's online this weekend.
You can watch it. My movie is in the Love Is in the Air block.
Yeah, his movie's called Autumn's Breeze. If you want to watch it, you can.
You do have to buy
because you know these things. See, we've run out of time.
All right, well, hurry up. We'll put the link at the bottom. All right.
Okay, link at the bottom. Peace.
You gotta buy a ticket, but like you can pay whatever you want. It's cool. Yeah. You'll watch my movie.